What's going on, guys? It's Jeremy, and today we're going to be talking about how to set up your CCW while you're sitting and driving in your vehicle. It's no secret that in 2022, things like crime are becoming more and more of a problem, not just here in the United States, but all around the world. Luckily, we as Americans have the ability to conceal carry and take our own life and our own defense into our own hands. And we as Americans spend a ton of time in our vehicles, driving to work, driving to the grocery store, taking our kids to and from different recreational events, going to see friends, family, all of it. We spend a lot of time in our vehicles, which makes it more and more important that we know how to effectively utilize and get to our concealed carry while in our vehicle, as well as a list of other things. But before we hop in the vehicle, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. All of that kind of stuff really helps us out in the long run. Be on the lookout on our website because this month we will be announcing our 2023 training schedule. We're going to be expanding a lot more in this upcoming year. Even though times seem to be getting a little tougher, that does not mean we can't stop training. So let's hop inside the vehicle and let's talk about a few things. So obviously, deploying your concealed carry from within your vehicle is not exactly an easy task all the time. We have constraints such as this confined space, our steering wheel, our seat belts, and everything else that goes along with this. This is not a fun place to potentially have to fight and defend from. But sometimes it's going to be something that we are forced to do. The first time I ever had to deploy my concealed carry was within this vehicle. It was in this exact truck. I was sitting in this seat. I was wearing this holster, this alien gear holster at about my 4 o'clock position. And I was still in the Marine Corps at that time. And, I did not know at any point in time that might have been happening at that moment in time, that it was going to be coming up. But, I had practiced deploying my concealed carry from within my vehicle before I had my concealed carry properly staged. So I set myself up for success. Luckily, me deploying my concealed carry probably did most of scaring said person away, and I did not have to actually, utilize my concealed carry from a firing perspective. But so we're going to talk about how to set up your concealed carry in 2 different positions. The first one is going to be the appendix carry, which is probably one of the most popular positions. And for that, we're going to be using this TXC holster. This is my primary concealed carry holster that I use. I carry a Glock 19 with a light in it and a spare magazine. Definitely a very quality holster. I've been using this one for years, and it is still solid. And then we have my old primary concealed carry, which is this hybrid alien gear holster. We're going to be doing this one from the 4 o'clock, so probably the second most popular position to carry from. If you don't carry on your waist and you carry on your ankle or something, I don't know what to tell you. Don't carry on your ankle. It's kind of far away. Anyway, so let's move into that. Let me get one of these holsters on, and we can talk about a few things. All right, guys, the first one we're going to talk about is going to be the appendix carry. So for all of my mad YouTube commenters, we are safe and unloaded. So first thing we do when we get into the vehicle, everybody has a routine. My routine, I take my wallet out of my back pocket, I put it in my center console, turn my vehicle on, so on and so forth. But then the next portion is putting your seatbelt on, and this has a lot to do with being able to easily access your firearm. With us being at the appendix carry, our firearm is in front of us, which means we don't have to necessarily fight to get our body weight necessarily off of a firearm as if we were carrying at the 4 o'clock position. But we still have a few things that we have to defeat. The first being the seatbelt. So obviously the seatbelt naturally rests across the waist of our body, which is where our concealed carry is. So I put my seatbelt on just like normal. And obviously from this point, my appendix holster is not very accessible. My seatbelt is over top of my shirt. I have this. It's not a good situation. So one of the very first things I do is I will pull the excess slack from my shirt out, and it will leave just the seatbelt underneath. The next thing I will do is I will kind of position my belt and the seatbelt together. So now the seatbelt is riding along my pants belt perfectly or just lower than where you may want to be. So now, if I needed to, if I pull up my shirt, the seatbelt is no longer interfering with this. You'll always have this if you're carrying, a Glock 19 or something bigger, a SIG 226, something like that. You're going to have this a little bit of an issue, it hitting the grip of your pistol. But once you kind of pull your shirt and you go to get into that pistol, it's really not that much of an issue. If it is, one thing I've seen people talk about in the past is as you grab your shirt to kind of push your seatbelt away from you, and now you can clear your holster a whole lot easier. So once again, I hop in the car, I do my thing, I go to put my seatbelt on. I've got my rooster sitting right outside my truck window here. I take my shirt out, I kind of align my two belts, make sure everything's where I want it, and then I just rethrow my shirt back over my concealed carry. Another thing you can do, which is an option, is you can tuck your shirt behind your holster if you really want to. This will come more into play when we switch over to the 4 o'clock. But this is also, just a fine option. We're in our vehicle, so you're not necessarily worried about concealed carrying at this point. And you want to be able to quickly access your firearm to the best of your ability. So let's go ahead and let's switch over to the 4 o'clock position. All right, we're back in the vehicle. We have our 4 o'clock carry now on our belt. So same thing as before. I get in, I go through my routine, so on and so forth, and I go to put my seatbelt on. Now what's nice about this is that the seatbelt at no point in time does it make contact with my holster as I'm carrying at this 4 o'clock position. However, the problem that I have now is that my body is kind of pinning my concealed carry between my body and the seat. So at any point in time, if I need to get to that, I kind of need to, wiggle my body a little bit. I need to move forward. Depending on which position you may be going to, you're going to have to do different things. And this isn't a, how-to video. We're just setting up our concealed carry holster. So once I'm here, one thing that I like to do is, like we talked about before, take that shirt and tuck it behind your holster or your gun, depending on, what type of holster you're utilizing. Now, if at any point in time, if I have to get to my concealed carry, I don't have to worry about defeating a garment. I can simply lean forward and deploy my firearm. Not as easy to reholster. But it's that simple, guys. Get in your vehicle and, figure out what is going to work for you. The first time you ever, deploy your firearm from your holster in your vehicle should not be when it matters most. You should get in here, and it doesn't take that long. Come out here with your firearm, obviously unloaded, and, dry fire from this position 10, 15 times. Coming from this window, coming from this window. How am I going to get out of the vehicle if something happens? If I've just engaged from this direction, can I go one hand on my pistol, do all my things, get out of my vehicle? Practice these things. And you should have a plan. We can make an entire video of things to consider while driving your vehicle, everyday carry, CCW, blah, 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 blah. But, these are things that you have to practice. These are things you have to think about prior to. That way, if something ever happens, you just do it and it's done. That's all I've got, guys. Very, very simple video. If you have not gone to a range, or even better, a class where you're able to work in and around vehicles, I highly suggest that you do, because it is a complete game changer as to how you may think things may occur, or how you may utilize a vehicle, so on and so forth. You definitely have to go out and get that type of training. And if you don't have the funds available to do something like that, or you don't have the resources to do something like that, like I said, get out here, empty firearm, dry fire, move in and around your vehicle, look up a bunch of YouTube videos on the makeups of cars and, what are the most up-to-date tactics and thought process for working in and around a vehicle, and do something. Be productive. That is what it's all about at the end of the day, is trying to be proactive for when things eventually go wrong. That's all I've got, guys. As always, train hard, train often.